So you guys, my name is Sina Azari. It's a pleasure being here. I want to thank Mr. Bob Mueller for the opportunity. And Clay, thank you so much. And Greg, Jian Yao for finding us in California and bringing us all the way to Connecticut. Thank you so much. By a show of hands, how many people have heard of Present Financial Partners? Present Financial since yesterday? Okay, cool. Cool. Well, hopefully after today, you learn a lot more about us. So licensed to thrive. Wait a second. Who in here doesn't have their insurance license? Odd question, right? Okay, so there you go. Licensed. Okay, so we're all licensed to thrive, right? Licensed to thrive. How many of you have heard this before, licensed to thrive? Nobody? Nobody? Well, you can go to licensedtothrive.com and you'll learn a lot more about how this theory works and what it means. But it applies to everyone in here. How many people believe that they're licensed to thrive? So just a couple hands went up. More hands went up. Confidence is building. Those of you that don't have your hands up, you're really licensed to survive. And I know it might sound odd, but I'm going to be very comfortable with you today. Is that okay? Instead of sort of giving you a rah-rah meeting, can I be real? Make you feel a little uncomfortable, but with all good intention? Is that fair? Yeah, sure. Cool. So license to thrive is important because I know that our success is all determined on two pieces or two core values that we'll go over. Briefly, real quick, who am I and how did I get the opportunity of standing in front of you today? My educational piece just shows that I spent some time at school. I don't want to go through too much detail, but professionally I started in the insurance business in 2003. I started as an agent, fresh out of college, 23 years old. My background is physiology. I'm from the Bay Area. Any Golden State Warriors fans in here? Woo! You know what that means? A lot of haters in here. All right, that's cool. So now that I know I'm speaking to the right group, I joined a company in 2003. They gave me tremendous opportunity. After being an agent for about 4 years, I was promoted to management, became a unit sales manager, like an assistant manager, mid-level manager for them. Grew through the ranks and became a branch manager, then had an opportunity to work with a good colleague of mine, Mr. Greg G, as an associate regional director, and he was one of the mentors in that role while I was an ARD at. Then late 2016, after about 14 years with the company, branched off and joined Present Financial Partners, which is a startup that went live. So that's the story of Present Financial Partners. These icons on the bottom is all the social media feeds to where you can learn more about myself, more about our company and what we're up to. And I'm all about growth through sharing. So the more we can synergize and leverage one another's talents and work together, the more it will help all of us. And I've recognized early that if you want to get somewhere fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go with the team. So I consider everyone in this as part of my team. So the first question is, are you a 3%er? Raise your hands. Are you a 3%er? Okay, we're working to get there. Well, let me tell you what this means. And first of all, this is going to require a lot of participation for us to have a really successful meeting. So I'm going to ask you participation. If you consider how we sort of sat in our 6th, 7th grade math class in middle school or junior high, we sort of sat leaning back, maybe arms crossed. Material came in one ear, went out the other, right? We don't really retain a lot of that information. Does that sound about right? I mention this to you because it's been proven that those that don't participate in sort of group activities will usually retain only about 10% of that knowledge. 10%. If you want to be able to maximize, get more, those that really are part of the discussion, that end up raising their hands, putting in some energy, and getting involved, you end up retaining 90%. So I'm going to ask for your participation. You guys ready to participate a little bit? Yes. Okay, good. I like that. So going back to, are you a 3%er? Raise your hands. Who's a 3%er? 2, 3 hands went up. Okay, so let me tell you what it means. I like that. A little bit of trickery. Let me give you some stats. What it means to be a 3%er. First of all, how many people know how many millions of individuals we have in the United States? That's right. I heard 350 million. Pretty close. 330 to 340 something, maybe 350. Out of this 350 million, I want to share with you that 20% of the country makes over $100,000 a year. 20% of the country. So if you're not doing 100 grand, you're not even the 20% of the country. And I know a lot of jobs are like, wow, you guys think that's a large percentage? Yeah? No? Okay. Good. I like that. So we have high expectations. That's good. So 20% generates over 100,000. I share this with you because without getting too specific on you as an individual, you yourselves being self-accountable, if you're at the 100K mark, then you're in the top 20. Top 3%, only 3% of the country makes 500 plus. 3% of the country makes 500 plus, 500,000 and more. And only 1% of the country makes 7 figures. 1% makes 7 figures. So I ask, are you a 3%er and not the 20%er? Because what people used to strive for in saying, let's earn 6 figures, let's make 6 figures, that number used to mean 100,000. It used to. Today, with inflation, that 6 figures remark really means 320,000. So a 6-figure earner making comfortable income is no longer 100. You agree with me? I love that. Good. So it's all about becoming a 3%er. And the question is, why not? Well, there's only 2 reasons why we are not whatever it is that we achieve or claim to or strive to want to be. And those 2 things are, 1, your patterns, and 2, anyone know the second one? Your drive. Any other guesses? Desires, work ethic. The second one is called BS. No, your belief systems. Yeah, you guys relax. Relax. So what was the first one? Your patterns, right? So let's talk about your patterns. We all have 2 types of patterns. Good ones and bad ones, right? Patterns are closest, maybe relate to a habit. So what's a good habit? What's a good pattern? Exercise. We got Ryan with exercise. Anyone else that'd like to participate today? Work ethic, getting up early. What's a bad pattern? Procrastination. How many people believe procrastination is a bad habit? That's right. The rest of you will raise your hands later. Good. I'm glad we're all awake. So this is what I'd like to do. Let's quickly demonstrate the power of your patterns. When you start to apply certain habits every single day on a consistent basis, they tend to become what's known as being on autopilot. You just do them without even thinking about it, right? So let's do a quick demonstration. Let's all stand real quick. Let's get some energy flowing. I know you guys all had some lunch, whole bunch of deli meat. Let's exercise it off. And our veggie fans, a whole bunch of tomatoes, right? It's cool. So what I'd like you to do is have your hands out about 6 inches wide. I like the way this guy thinks, really big. Good job, all right? And when I say 1, 2, 3, go, you're going to clap. So let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. I want to share with you how quickly you just mentally adapted a pattern. Some of you clapped when I came to clap. Some of you clapped when I didn't say go. And some of you don't even know why you're clapping. All right? You guys feel good? So that was the first example of the power of patterns. Let's try another one. And you're going to try real hard to stump me on this because I've already given you a warning. What I'd like you to do is take your hands just like this, and I want you to go ahead and intermingle your fingers, crossing your thumbs over each other. All right? Now look at your hands. Those of you that have your right thumb over your left, raise your hands up. Right thumb over your left. Those individuals, it means that you're extremely sexy, a great lover, and have a lot of confidence. How many had their left over their right? Those of you are very intelligent and will become multimillionaires. So the question is, the sex or the money? The sex or the money? I'm just teasing. Now I want you to cross your thumbs over the other one. Cross your thumbs over the other one. Someone said so. How does that feel? I heard the word weird. I heard the word wrong. Let me tell you, that right there was breaking a pattern. That right there was breaking a pattern. And sometimes we feel that it's weird or wrong, so we don't do it. And that's what I hope that we change today towards better patterns. So guys, have a seat. Gals, have a seat. Thank you for your participation. All right, now that we're ready to warm up, let's get serious, right? Okay, so the question is, are you a 3%er? Why not? So 5 reasons. Do you really want it? Do you really want it? Greg G got up here yesterday and he said, you are the only one responsible for your success. Many of you have heard that over and over. The challenge is how many of us believe that? Not many, because if more of us did, we'd have much greater results. So I say, do you really want it? Because if you think back, when was the last time that you really wanted something and you didn't achieve it? There will never be a moment, as long as it's been possible, you would have achieved it. And if you didn't, the honest fact is you just really didn't want it. No one will stop you. I've learned that very early. Accountability. Our greatest challenge is not holding other people accountable. It's holding ourselves accountable. Being self-accountable. And when I ask, are you a 3%er? You need to recognize that no one is going to help you become that 3%er other than yourself. Yeah, there's tools we'll borrow from each other. There's some motivation you'll get after a 1-hour speech or meeting. But at the end of the day, it comes down to if you really want it and if you're willing to hold yourself accountable. Responsibility. Big difference between being responsible and being accountable. Many of us are responsible when it comes to maybe raising our kids, taking care of our parents, taking care of our spouse or loved ones. But how responsible are we to be able to create the career that we desired and originally got involved in this industry in the first place? That's why I repeat, it's licensed to thrive. Because we already walked in licensed to survive. Then discipline. Are you disciplined? And the last is vision. Vision is powerful. Who has no vision?
Blind people.
Blind people. I'm going to disagree with that. Listen, I love the confidence. And that's not the first time I've ever heard that response. But there's a big difference between vision and sight. And that's the number one confusing piece, that people assume that vision is what you've had to already see to believe it. And I believe that you must believe it in order to see it. Reverse it around. Let's talk about the power of vision real quick. You guys ready for a quick exercise? Or are you tired from the last one? You sure? Some of you are hiding your thumbs. All right, let's stand up real quick. Give yourselves about 5-6 inches, maybe more. Maybe half to a full arm's length away from your neighbor. Let's use the middle aisles. You need some room for this one. The more room you have, the better. There you go. All right, what I want you to do, we're going to make this one quick, because I already see Bob tell me I'm pressed for time. So I want you to have your hands out. Taking your right hand, bring it out in front of you, thumbs up. Thumbs towards me. All right, good, I see that. Now what I want you to do is keeping your feet planted. Do not move your feet. Keep your feet planted. Start to stretch to your right or your left, either side, but one side only. Stretch to your right or your left. Keep your arms straight, your feet planted. Keep going as far back as you can, looking at your thumb. I want you to look at your thumb with one eye, your strong eye. And I want you to focus on whatever, as far back as you stretch, whatever's behind your thumb, I want you to look at that image and see it. I need you to see what that image is with your eyes open. You guys see that image? Perfect. Now come back around. All right. Now I want you guys to remember what that image was. Remember what you saw. Now I want you to close your eyes. And those of you that participate will feel this. Close your eyes. Bring your hands back out in front of you with your thumbs up, eyes closed. Keep them closed. Before you make any body moves, I want you to think about what you saw where your thumb was fully extended when you turned your body the last time. I want you to slowly start to turn your body the same direction, eyes closed, and I want you to make that stretch, and I want you to vision as far back as you can take it past that point. Imagine where you saw it before, and I want you to take it far back behind that point, and keeping your body still, open your eyes. Look where your thumb's at. How many wows can I get? Wow. Those wows are visionaries. Those wow, now a lot more. How many wows can I get? That's called vision. That's the difference between vision and sight, you guys. I got no more exercises for you. That's it. So now we know the difference between vision and sight. Okay? Let me tell you, we don't need to see it to believe it. We need to believe it to see it. And our industry affords each one of us a 7-figure opportunity. I don't know about you guys in Connecticut, but we spent $350 to get our license in California in about 3 to 5 weeks. Is that similar to here? $350 in 3 to 5 weeks? Okay. So if I'm close enough, the question you got to ask yourself is, how can the person next to you in the office with you, how can they, with the same license that you have at the same overhead cost, how can they, for example, maximize and take $350 home, whereas you might be taking $60, $70. Or you might be $350, that person's taking $50, $60, or maybe higher, whatever it is. You got to recognize, though, that this license, it's what we're going to create of it. And many of us, due to our belief systems, we're limiting the essential, our own ceiling that doesn't exist. Anyone know what the average income is of an insurance agent? 50K. 39. So for about 39, I mean, I can't disagree with this guy. He's a pretty big guy. So 39,000 it is. 39,000 it is. Anyone seen his Facebook, by the way? If you're not friends with Sam on Facebook, make sure you are. He will find you. So 39 to 50,000 is the average income of an insurance agent. I want you to use that number as the bar of the farthest you will ever place yourself if you're around that number. Because there is no way with this platform, with the leadership and the selflessness of Clay, Jim, and the rest of the leadership team, the RSMs, all the infrastructure, we cannot be at that average level. We are not in an average organization. Make sense? Makes sense? Cool. Good. So I got your commitment. So what's your paradigm? We're missing an S there, but what's your paradigm? I believe that we are where we are today based on the decisions that we made 3 to 5 years ago. If you think back to what you did 3 to 5 years ago, whether you're at the same company or a different company, but those decisions that you made then, you're tasting those results today. So what I share with you, I hope that 3 to 5 of you really take home this message and apply it, and in 3 to 5 years we can celebrate the success much greater than we are today. But it's 3 to 5 year plan. What is your blueprint? What does your blueprint look like? And your blueprint has to keep getting upgraded, has to keep changing. And what many of us forget to do is when we start to set goals and they're small in the beginning, we achieve them, we stop setting greater goals. We start to get complacent, we start to get comfortable. And nothing good happens when you're cruising. Nothing. You gotta have goals. And I emphasize the word rewards. You gotta have goals and you gotta reward yourself. Ashley said, pay yourself first. So many individuals, because of our why, is why we got started. We work hard and we deliver for our why, and most of us, our why is not ourself, right? Our why is our family, legacy, grandkids, kids, spouse. But you gotta reward yourself. And the more you set these goals of what you're gonna obtain and reward yourself, the greater those goals are gonna be. The more your why is going to benefit from you taking care of yourself. The next is the strategy. The how behind the why. The how behind the why. And I cannot emphasize to you enough. I've been in this business for 15, 16 years. I know to some of you that's not a long time. To many of you, that's longer than you even want to be in the business. But I'll tell you, for 15 years, I was blessed and fortunate at the age of 23 to 27, trained by some of the best agents in the industry. All MDRT, top of the table, court of the table. All older than me, in their early 50s, late 60s. Many of them are retired now. But I'll tell you, the things that I learned then, there is no way I can apply those same concepts today and get the same results. Or if I do, I'll get the same results maybe. And the same results from 10 years ago is not going to get us the same buying power as today. So just recognize that whatever you did to help get you to where you are at this moment is not the same thing that you got to do to help get you to where you want to go. You got to make sure you recognize the power behind that statement, because change is hard. And we are right now going through one of the most disruptive times in a good way when it comes to change. There is not a better time to be in business. for yourself. And if you've heard that before in the past, I want to go ahead and share with you why that's so significant today. We live in a moment that we've never lived in, that we are able to communicate instantly across the globe at zero cost. You will never, I mean, maybe things will get better than this, but it's never been this good. Ask the agents that had to carry rolls of dimes and had to find payphones, that maybe were running business before the Atlas and Thomas guide. Now I'm taking you back to how I started. I didn't have the dimes. We had quarters then. And yes, I did use the Atlas and Thomas guide. My whole team doesn't know what that means. But realistically, this is the time of change, and your paradigm has to shift. So what are you doing with your 168? Who knows what 168 means? Woo! What's your name? Mark. We got one guy who had this answer. 168. The reason why I want to emphasize this number is because most of us, especially when we get to a level of financial success, we start to feel like we're running out of time. Right? How many people feel like they don't have enough time? Only 2, 3 honest people in here? Everyone else is on the 27-hour wheel? Well, let me share with you, everyone has 24 hours a day. And what I believe sometimes hinders us back is limiting our action plan, our strategy to day-to-day tasks. We limit ourselves to 24 hours. And what I've recognized is that when you break out of the living the day-by-day style, 24 hours, and you start to break it down to a week by week, you can get a lot more done in 168 hours than you can 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So try to apply that, what your weekly goals are. And you maximize this 168. It feels a lot better knowing you have 168 hours than 24. You get a lot more done. The next question is know your worth. How many people know what their rate is per hour? Okay? So the hands that usually go up, I'll tell you, either confidence or proven success in the business. But if you don't have your rate per hour, then as an independent contractor, how do you know what your worth is? How do you know what to go out there and ask for? You know, imagine hiring a contractor, and he comes to your house to do all this construction and remodeling, and he doesn't tell you how much it costs. That's exactly what we're doing every single day when we go out in the field and we don't have our rate per hour. We don't have our day expense of what it is to hire Sina Azari. I can't even tell you how much they paid for me to come and speak to you up here. I really can't. It's that embarrassing. Greg said it's 0, you're wrong.
No, I said there was a 0 in the number.
There was a 0 in the number, and yes, 0 is hero, just in case you're wondering. All right, so what's your rate per hour? If you've never broken this down, start to break it down, and then if you guys are saying, let's say, $300-400 an hour. Who wants to be at the $200 an hour mark? Who's already 200? Well, I don't put you on blast. Who wants to be at 300 an hour? 400 an hour. Keep those hands up. 500 an hour. 600 an hour. Okay, let me share with you. I love the hands going up, and I believe that one, some of you are already doing 600 an hour, and two, many people are, period, in the industry. But what's important is, the follow-up question is, are you providing equivalent value? And when you start to recognize that maybe the value you're providing is not in return worth the $300, $400, $500 an hour, then you start to make the changes to meet that expectation. You know, for example, how well you present yourself. A $600 an hour person, professional, is pretty crispy, right? Crispy meaning their clothes are ironed, no stains, no wrinkles, maybe sharp suit, nice dress, well presentable, right? You can't come in here like this with tennis shoes and or khakis and say you're a $300, $400, $500 hour person or whatever it is. So make sure that you're providing the equivalent value of what it is you feel you deserve. Because many individuals, they see success amongst them. They see success with their mentors, with other people in their offices. And the first thing they do is they think it's all luck. They think it's a connection. They think it was that $1 million annuity they wrote. Whatever thinks it is, which is all BS. It's your belief system. You agree with me on that? Am I losing you? Food coma? All right, let's do it. Cool. The next question you ask yourself is, would you follow you? Would you follow you? And what that means is that, one, if you were to, I guess the best way to gauge this, and this picture is a picture of our team. Someone asked the other day, they asked Matt how many hours we spend doing social media. This is our meeting. I started the business at meetings where there was no laptops, no cell phones. Our meetings involve the internet and the phone all day, because that's how we're connected. I just connected with 35 of you in 30 seconds. You tell me how you can do that over the phone. You can't. And we just started our relationship. So if when that picture goes up, you comment, you like, the rest of you comment like, Greg sends it across the country global. But would you follow you is important, because if you take yourself out of your organization, how much of an impact will it be? The other way to look at it is, if you doubled yourself in the organization, what type of impact would you have? If impact is significant, keep doing more of what you're doing. If you're like, I don't know, I'll miss some friends, but production-wise really won't make a difference, then you got to change that. Because that means that you wouldn't even follow you. So how can your clients follow you? Any managers in here building teams? How can your agents follow you? Always ask yourself that. 3 elements of running your business. The activities you know you should do and are comfortable with. The activities you know you should not do, or you should do and are not comfortable with, like social media maybe. And 3 is the activities that you don't even know you should be doing. The number one challenge is the activities that we know we should do and are not doing. Usually comes down to prospecting. Our business, the results that we generate in the beginning, and in the beginning meaning until the 3%er, is all based on prospecting. That's your number one priority. Don't worry about the splits. Don't worry about which FA is going to run it. Don't worry about who's going to get what percentage. Keep prospecting and build that pipeline. Whether you got 10% of a sale or 90% of a sale, you got a client. That client knows somebody. That person that knows someone knows somebody. And the more you prospect, the more you get your name, your brand, your face in front of people, the more likely when they're ready to purchase your service, they remember your name. There's a familiarity. Maybe a referral trickles across their desk or their direction. They already knew about you. How powerful is that? So that's why I said you got to be open to change. Because you want to rapidly get the results today. Because that's how operations are growing now. They're not growing the way they used to. We are living through an era of what's called equalization. I get not emotional, but passionate when I share this with you. We're living in a moment right now to where any single individual in here has the same marketing strength as the largest conglomerate out there. Like Pepsi, like Nike, or for the women, Victoria's Secrets, or for some of the guys, Victoria's Secrets. You have that same power. You got that same power. The first thing that we all did today when we woke up, and I wasn't in your rooms with you, you checked your phones. After looking for missed calls or missed texts, you probably logged into your Facebook. Or if you're Greg, you logged into LinkedIn. Or if you're Matt, you logged into all of them at once. Okay? But that's what you're doing. So what do you think the rest of the world's doing? In 3 to 5 years, everyone's already going to be making this shift. We just got to be early. We got to be the early adapters. The early adapters win. Here's a picture of our team, just to share with you some ideas of how it is we expose what it is we do. And I share this with you to show that we're a little different. Most of these posts, when you first glance at them, they don't tell you what the message is. But it's enough of a picture to have you reading the caption. It's an attention grabber. And right now, everyone's fighting for attention. And the winner of grabbing attention is going to continue growing their business. Because the more people that know about your service, the community that you serve, the products that you offer, the more success you're going to have. We're living in an era of equalization. Don't underestimate this. Taking ownership. This goes back to what Greg said. Life by design, not by default. To go back, actually not even to go back, forget. Pleasing activities versus pleasing results. Challenge versus comfort. People would rather live with the pain of not having than the pain in the process of building your worth. Everyone in here is paying a pain. Everybody. The ones that don't have are paying the pain of wanting, and the ones that have are paying the pain of growing it. Like Al Pacino did a great job, but that guy's in pain. Can't even get his attention. Look at that. I love it. He's dealing with some serious emails right now. So people would rather live with the pain of not having than the pain in the process of building your worth. So recognize that and ask yourself, which pain would you rather pay? If not now, then when? You know, it's so easy for people to say tomorrow. That's why I asked that question. How many procrastinators we have in here? Maybe half the hands went up. And I said, the rest of you will have your hands up later. That's a true statement. Those are the procrastinators. I don't want to go through these definitions because we already talked about vision, but you got to be committed, you got to have passion, and you got to have energy. And there's a big difference between passion and loving what you do. Okay? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't love selling insurance. And anyone who does, probably 0.3% of you do. But I'm passionate about what I do. Everyone says you got to love what you do to be successful. I disagree. You got to be passionate, and you know what you got to do? You got to work as hard as it takes. I have yet to come across someone who's been extremely successful, and they've said, oh, I hate it, I just work real hard. It's real successful. Think about it. Think about it. You ever heard someone who's really successful that works hard complain? If they do, they're complaining before they get on their boat, before they take that trip. I'm working hard. I'm going to the Greek islands. Yeah, I'm right, I'm working hard. Recognize that whenever things are not going your way, ask yourself, will I follow me? And if the answer is no, work harder. If the answer is no, stop waiting to see it, to believe it. Don't allow your belief systems to hold you back or change them. Are you an entrepreneur? We're too conditioned by price tags. What I mean by this is we immediately ask how much this will cost me versus how much will this make me. And you know who said that? Your boy. Come on, guys. Wake up a little bit. Man, this is brutal. That was too advanced for Connecticut, huh? All right. So they're like, who? Your boy? We gotta look him up. So you're too conditioned by price tags and immediately asking how much will this cost me versus how much will this make me? What I mean by that is, for example, let's say you're new in the business and you don't have a really good setup going on. Right? It's tough. The way I started, just to take you back, when I started 23 years old, graduated college, physiology degree, I studied to become a dentist. That was what my plan was. And I applied to 18 dental schools, don't get into any of them, paid for applications, didn't get one interview, fell into some probably borderline depression, didn't know what to do, raised by a single mom. And fortunately, this girl that I had a crush on was the administrator at the company that I ended up working for. She was the administrator, and she said, hey, Sina, maybe if you're not getting into school, why don't you come in for an interview? And I was like, I've never sold insurance. Why would anyone interview a guy that's never sold insurance? Now, let me remind you, I didn't know about the industry, 23 years old, so I'm excited I got this interview. I go in there, meet with the branch manager, who I learned is her mom. So, of course, there's probably a recruiting bonus somewhere in there, which I learned later. But I end up having this interview with the branch manager. She gives me this opportunity and presented it exactly for what it's worth, which was you can take it to wherever you want to take it. And that was enough motivation for me to say, let me try this. And when I said, let me try this, I was still living at home. I went home, told my mom. I said, Mom, I got great news. She said, what, you got into school? I said, no. She said, what? Actually, no, I remember I actually said yes. And she said, you did? Wow. Like, what dental school? I said, it's actually insurance school. And she's like, insurance school? How does that work? So I told her I'm going to go 2 weeks, get licensed, and I'm going to join this company named Bankers Life. And she said, you went to school, anyone can go get their insurance license, right? I mean, it's a pretty common conversation for the parents that, especially like my mom, she migrated here and believed that your kid's got to go to school, get an education, become a lawyer or a doctor, and that's the only way you're going to make it in America. And a lot of people think that way, believe me. So I said, I'm going to sell insurance, and she said, Sina, insurance agents don't make a lot of money. A lot of people say that. And I said, no, that's not true. I went to this office, I saw the performers, they're making some good money. She said, they don't make a lot of money. I said, why do you say that? I'll never forget this. But she said, Sina, I say that to you because our insurance agent is broke. I mean, how sad is this? Now I'm really getting depressed. I'm like, am I going to get a refund on the school? I just paid for insurance. No, I'm kidding. But I said, how do you know your insurance agent is broke? She said, Sina, he comes to our house, he's got holes in his sweater. He's got stains on his jacket. Now, I know where a lot of us are sighing, but we got some of these guys in our offices sometimes. I mean, I'm not picking on anyone specific, but I'm bringing to your attention what my mom thought the insurance industry was about. And she placed this same impression on me that I said, no, that's not what I saw. So she said, okay, you're a big boy. Seems like that's what you want to do. Let me go ahead and help you. What type of insurance are you going to sell? Maybe I can help you. I said, Mom, we sell long-term care insurance. She said, what's that? I said, we pay for people when they go to a nursing home, we take care of it. She said, I don't want that, and no one else does either. Now I was really depressed. I kid you not, this all went down. We get into a full-blown argument and fight, and she's like, you know what, Sina, you got to go back to school. I'm going to help you. You're living here. I said, no, this is what I'm going to do. She said, then if you're man enough to make your decision on your career, you're man enough to support yourself. And I think at 23, that was right. I was already 4 years too late. I should have left, even though we got a lot of 30, 35 years living at home today, which is okay. I agree. So just didn't want to disrespect no one. So what happens is she says, Sina, you got to take care of yourself. And I said, all right, sounds good. Give me 2-3 months. There's this window called SNA. I'm going to be out of there. She said, 2-3 months? You got 2 weeks. Now I was really pissed. I was so pissed that I got a duffel bag full of my clothes, and I left probably in 2 hours. It was the best experience of my life. Took the duffel bag of my clothes, threw it in the trunk of my car. I had 2 khakis. I had 2 button-up shirts. I had 1 tie. I had no blazers. And I grabbed the iron. I don't know if my mom ever found out where the iron went. And I don't care. But I grabbed the iron, and I left the house. I left the house, and I called my good friend Brandon. I'll never forget this, because without these guys taking care of me in the beginning, I would not have been able to make it. But I called Brandon. I said, hey, Brandon, I need a place to stay. He's like, dude, I live with my mom, but if you want to stay here, I guess you can. All of us got that friend where their parents let anyone come over. And if you don't have that friend, you are those parents. So he said, come on down. And I'm embarrassed because, we're best friends. They know my mom. I said, listen, man, what time does your mom go to work? When does she come home? And what I did was for 3 months, I slept on this guy's couch at his mom's house and would come home at 10:30 at night because she'd sleep by about 10, and I'd leave at 5 in the morning because she would wake up around 5:30. She didn't know for 3 months I was living there. She didn't. And I was so embarrassed. But I went through this, and I would be the first one. I'd wake up, I'd go to the gym, and I would take the iron and iron my clothes at the gym. I worked at the gym for a free membership, folding towels. I would go to my insurance career in school that I just started. And everyone knows in the beginning, it is the most difficult time, no matter what anyone tells you. I would go to insurance. I worked at Red Robin in the evening serving. Any Red Robins out here? Unlimited fries, baby. Only one guy? All right, unlimited fries, bro. So Red Robin is like a Fridays, TGI Fridays. I was serving food, making tips, giving everyone free fries to get more tips. And the third job I had was I was doing part-time accounting work on the weekend for a freight forwarding company. I did these 3 jobs working through this industry until I got out of my friend's house and XYZ, the rest made it. But I share this with you because we're too conditioned. I remember this time when I was new, I wanted a blazer, and I said, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. And I didn't get one for a long time. And I mixed a lot of my clothes to make it seem like I'm not wearing the same clothes. I mean, I'm telling you some stuff that some people know what it's like. But I'll share with you that if I had someone with me at that time to say, listen, don't worry about what this blazer cost, worry about what it's going to make you, I might have got that blazer a lot earlier. That's why I share this with you. Because so many of us are worried about what something costs versus what it's going to make us. There's 5 levels of personal growth. The first one at the bottom is that we're licensed. We're all licensed. So we are already at 1. Hopefully some of us are at 2. But we're licensed, so clients listen because you're licensed. You're an authority. Second is, you know how to build relationships. Clay said this is a business about connectors. There's an awesome book called The Outliers. If you've never heard of it, write that down. The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. All about connectors. Second is, you build relationships. Clients trust you because you've proven it. You've earned it. The third, some of us are here, some of us are not. I don't know. Just be honest with yourselves. The third is production. Our results speak. That's why people do business with us. Because the town and the city that I work in knows I'm the best. I've spoken at seminars. I've helped multiple generations. I work across different business landscapes. I'm a center of influence that's called upon to give case studies. XYZ. Our results and our production speaks. Then the fourth, we graduate, is to client development. Referrals. I can't emphasize to you the strength of referrals, which I believe Jeff was talking about it. Your best client will be the ones that give you a referral. And when you get a referral from one client, it's your duty to get a referral from the client that referred you to that client, and so forth. So we need to get to a point to where our business is 60, maybe 70% referral driven, which is what the people who have earned the production and results are at. Then the other 30 to 40%, prospecting methods. Phones, social media, marketing, branding, etc. And the fifth is respect. Clients buy because of who you are and what you represent. These individuals at the 5 level, they no longer really need to prospect. They are the go-to in their area. Do we have anyone with confidence that feels they're at level 5? Awesome. What that means is that we all have room to grow. And it's all about growth. Measure your results. You have no idea what a surprise it is still to this day. In some of our meetings, we start off a meeting and I ask the team, what were your numbers last quarter? And the toughest response that I have to hear is, I don't know. And I hear it so many times. It happens everywhere. And all I do is I look at that agent or those team members and I just let them know, until you know your numbers, you will never be as successful as you could be. Because if you have nothing to measure against, then you think you're doing great, but you could be going down the wrong path. So you got to measure your results. And you got to measure them as often as you feel necessary. But in my opinion, check in and check out with yourself every single week. Not every day. Because you will have good and bad days. But you should have good weeks every week. Every week. The weeks that you don't have a good week, you set yourself up for that. You'll start to recognize the patterns, the mistakes, the missed opportunities in those bad weeks, and you will change them. But in 168 hours, it's impossible that you are a licensed professional and you did not apply your license that week. That's like a physician without patients for the week. You going to go to that doctor? I won't. So don't be that doctor. That's like an attorney without clients for a week. You think that guy's winning litigation or that gal's winning cases? Probably not. Let's not be that attorney. The average agent generates $49,000 a year. We are not average. 20% of the country makes 100 plus. We are not the 20%ers. We're 3%ers. And when you shoot for $500,000 every year, some of us exceeding that, but when you shoot for $500,000, you will not be disappointed when you land on 3. when you land on 275. But if you shoot for 100 grand, you make 60, 70, we're starting the year over again. One of the consistent mistakes that I see in our business is agents resetting their year from the beginning every single year. And what I mean by that is if you're a producer and you're doing the same thing you are today as you did 5 years ago, you're just resetting your year 5 years ago. Because you're doing the same thing. What businesses do you go to today other than that local parlor that's established itself? What businesses do you go to today that look the same as 5 years ago? I can't think of any. Imagine when you pump gas. You got a TV talking to you now, right? Right? Am I in the wrong area? Am I tripping out here? Yeah. You go to the grocery store, you're checking yourself out now. Right? Think about that. That was 5 years ago. 5 years ago wasn't like this. These are two small examples. What do you think is happening to our business? The same thing. The same thing. So do not get caught doing the same thing over and over unless you're already the 3%ers. Remember this. Focus on doing the most important thing at any given moment and believe in yourself. No one will pay you more than you're willing to pay yourself. I want to thank all of you for your time. Mr. Bob Mueller, Clay Leggett, the American Senior Benefits team. I'm so grateful of the time you've all given me. Thank you so much, guys.